Hello, everybody. It's me, Talem, again. Okay, so I was on YouTube right now, and basically what's happening is a lot of things just occurred to me that relationships between husband and wife is dead. No kids are brought in this life because that's sufficiently no longer a good opportunity now because medical bills are high and we're not getting the stuff that we need. See, the thing is, guys, to all of us good people out here, we're trying to do the right thing. And clearly, what I'm saying is, a lot of my friends, well, a few of my friends who are in my circle have jobs. They're focusing on themselves. They don't intend on getting relationships anytime sooner. But I have a couple friends who are in relationships and they actually got themselves together. They've already did what they had to do. So basically, they're trying to start a family of their own. And even though they're living under their parents' roofs or by themselves or something like that, that they're trying to live happy lives. That doesn't mean they're doing the wrong deed or something like that. Now, here's my word for it. And this is the one question that got me into asking this. How is it that we can how is it that a lot of us good guys out here learn to get along and search for a woman if we can't get if we can't focus on ourselves? See, let me put a clean recap upon that. Now, sure, I didn't have a lot of friends back in those days before, but back through middle school, up to from second grade all the way up to eighth grade, well, actually, man, up to 12th grade, basically, I did have friends, and a couple of my friends had goals of their own. There are some times that we did screw up. Yes, I will not lie. I was in that situation to where I wanted a woman all by myself, but I didn't get fortunate with the ladies. I'm not a ladies man, but I was basically I was more of a normal guy. I'm not the class clown. I'm not popular. I'm just one of those guys who are normal. So the thing was, yeah, if you guys are feeling traumatized or something, reach out to somebody. Have a therapist. Actually, yeah, talk to your family members, talk to your friends or somebody who's closer to you, somebody who actually is there for you. Don't go squandering your on focusing on different relationships and then you're going to end up breaking up with that person. See, this is exactly why a lot of us men and a lot of women out there mess up on this. They don't know how to get themselves together. Now all of a sudden I'm feeling like that there are certain things that are going missing. Now, take my example for instance. See, back in them days I always wanted to have a girlfriend of my own. But the problem was I wasn't fully well myself. I haven't been going to gyms. I haven't been getting actual jobs that actually pay well. And by the moment I do get jobs, is that the minimum wage is good, but the outcome of it was that I spent too much money on small things that are not important. See, when it came to paying the bills, like my phone bill, see that was the most important to keep communication with my family members and some of my people and some of my friends, however. And let's see. Now I have a secondary bill of X Play, well HD cable for less. That's a subscription that's now been upgraded to going out to like expire till May, but that's besides the point. The thing is, what I'm saying is, guys, gals, all my friends out here, basically yes, and you female, my friends who are also females, listen. If you're traumatized, that doesn't automatically means hold on to the past, having resentment and hating on your family, all that stuff and all that and everything. The thing is, though, sometimes we often got to learn to forgive each other. The only way for us to have forgiveness is to show forgiveness to people and learn to forgive ourselves. See, self-loathing and self-hate, all that stuff got us in so much trouble. I mean, look at this. How is it that we're supposed to be living good lives if we're not being good people ourselves? That is the gigantic error there. See, this is where we're messing up at. We're not completely on par on what we're supposed to do. We are completely in some gigantic rut, and we're not doing the right thing. And here we are just being a tad lazy in our homes. We're playing video games 24/7, not having anything to deal with, like, no job. Always want girls and all that stuff. Seriously, guys, you can't. Seriously, like, we can't be going on getting relationships if we're not actually focusing on ourselves. The thing is, yes, it hurts to actually say that we got to learn to love each other. Well, love ourselves. Learn to love ourselves before we learn another. See, self-love is something more important than everything. I got a few of my friends to try to learn to love myself, try to have me say to learn to love myself. See, I'm not obsessively madly in love with myself. I mean, I got to learn to, like, I love myself for a reason. I'm learning to live a good life, but the thing is, when you force it on people, that's how you're going to learn that they're gonna take it the wrong way, and they're gonna like go away from it. They're never gonna get out of that. They're never gonna win. They're never gonna, like, get out of that rut. See, learning self-love is not about being selfish or anything like that. See, the basic thing is that you gotta learn to be one with yourself. You gotta learn how to have strength, and you gotta learn how to accept your weaknesses and overcome them. And I know a lot of you are afraid of death, and I know a lot of you are afraid of growing up. But the thing is, though, it's already happening. You gotta learn how to grow up. You gotta learn how to mature. How is it that you can't grow up? How is it that you don't want to grow up and you can be mature while you're young? See, look, I am a man in my late 20s, and I'm a young adult. Yeah. But the thing is, you can't just say that you would rather be young for the rest of your life, not knowing that it's going to have a chance, not knowing it's going to that your past your past events of being an adult is going to your the reputation of you being a young kid is going to catch up to you. See, you can't be young forever. The past is the past. You got to let go of the past. In order for you to let go of the past, sometimes you often have to accept the outcome of what's going to happen. Yes, yes, life is going to be hard. Life is going to be complicated. It's going to get chaotic. But we all have to accept this. We can't just go being just adults with childish behaviors. We're no longer kids anymore. We're adults now. We need to start being grown people. Sometimes we often have to take the right choice to make that strong step. I have a couple, actually, yes, I have a few family members who are adults, and they do pay their bills. They have children. They even provide for their families. See, I know one of my friends is struggling in life. Actually, yeah, I got friends who are struggling in life. He or she or is actually getting out there trying to be herself, his or herself. I got a couple friends who are struggling in life. They don't intend on trying to break down so easily. Yes, they do have a lot on their plate, but to all my friends out there, I understand you have a lot on your plate. Sometimes you need to empty that plate. You need to clean your plate before you start messing things up again. I mean, I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. I'm saying this because we've been hanging on to the past for so long, and we're not progressing further here into the future in a good way. See, how is it that you say that you want to be in a good, have a good future if you can't focus on yourselves? See, you got to learn to love yourself. Self love is self discipline. Self discipline is self love. You just got to understand that you got to take a hold of life. Like life is a gigantic orb of of a living entity. You just got to take a hold of that orb. Take it in your heart, mind, and soul, and try to progress in life. You can't just go doing these petty things, hoping things are gonna stay on top. See, you have to be one step ahead in life. You can't just do this. You can't just like act childish and thinking that everything is gonna go smooth sailing. Like, oh, I just did this. Maybe it'll go away all of a sudden, and I won't have anything to worry about. See, the problem is that is where we're messing up. You can't just say that you do accomplish one thing and it's going to stay accomplished, because in time it's going to cripple that kind of accomplishment that you've completed so well. It's going to collapse. So in order for you to try to keep it well stable is if you keep it clean and rebuild it. See, you are who you choose to be. We are who we choose to be. We are actually good people. We're trying to live a healthy life. I've seen the good side in relationships of husbands and wives, and of course children and childhoods and everything. I've seen the good parts in relationships, and I've seen the dark parts in relationships. So basically, dating is officially, I'm not saying it's actually dead, but finding the right person for you, it is, the right person out there is for you. Sometimes you really got to pray. You got to pray, hoping that you will meet that person in life. But in order for you to meet that good person, you have to become a good person yourself. You got to learn to benefit for yourself. You got to learn how to put yourself first, or put the Heavenly Father first, because He's the one that provides us life. So basically, you just got to put yourself first before you go jumping into relationships anytime sooner. Because I've seen a lot of men and a lot of women playing each other like saps, because I'm seeing men with side chicks and I'm seeing women with side dudes. See, the problem is you guys are messing that up. Whatever happened to the relationship between the good and the bad? Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. In relationships, we all have some good moments. We have some bad moments. There are also moments when we're on the verge of breaking up or getting into divorces, and sometimes we're also on the verge to losing each other because of our insecurities. See, the thing is, you shouldn't let your insecurities be the better of you. You shouldn't let yourself be dragging yourself into the abyss until you can't get out. Like I said before, I've been in the abyss, okay? I've been in the abyss as long as a lot of people are. I've been in there, but God did not want me there. So I had to get myself out. If it hadn't been for the people in my family who really loves me and who really is well deep concerned about my well-being, I wouldn't be here right now. Sure, there is going to be some moments in life that I'm going to struggle. And yes, it's the truth. I struggled. I struggled physically, I struggled financially, I struggled mentally, and I even struggled spiritually. And more importantly, I've even struggled with equality. Sometimes it's hard to take control of the things that you should be doing right now and what you could have done back in the day. See, you can't let the past take control of you. See, this is where you're messing. This is where we all messed up. We can't rely on the past. What happened in the past stays in the past. Sometimes, yes, it's going to get hard. Life is going to be very hard, but it's just like what my sister said. Bad things will happen, but good things will come in return. See, I my one of my sisters told me that. See, I didn't want to believe it at first until it hit me. It hit me so hard to where some sense was knocked into me. There were some good things. But the thing was, though, I had losses, I had gains. See, I lose things first before I even have the chance to gain them. See, it's like what I say before, and I never said this. For those who are walking on the path of good, like, you will lose things in life, and you will gain things in return. See, the thing is, guys, we all have losses. We all have gains. But losing the things that we care about, sometimes we got to learn to let that go. We are adults now. Please, we have to stay mature. We have to have a positive outcome. Sometimes we all have challenges against one another. Challenges on keeping our financial resources stable, trying to help our family out as much as we can. What's even more important is ourselves. We can't just go, we can't just, you know, jump into relationships so fast, not knowing the consequences of. We can't just jump into relationships like this. And it's already, and there's hookups already, and basically I'm not always into the hookup thing. I want to see, I'm not gonna lie, I want to have a good relationship with a woman, but all these good girls are hard to come by because a lot of them are just, they're just damaged goods. Because I've already had certain relationships back in the day, and they may have ended, they may have gone well so far between the beginning and into the interlude, but the ending, however, it just turned out horrible. It's not my fault, and it's not the my exes, any of the women that I used to date before is their fault. It's not their fault or their parents' fault. It's just that the outcome was not right. I mean, we had everything planned, but the problem was we can't keep we can't just mess things up. See, us going through breakups and everything, that doesn't mean it's the end of our life. It's the end of the world. Sometimes we often got to stay strong, accept that hurt and let it. Sometimes we got to learn how to go back on that part, accept that hurting feeling, and try to turn it to heal it. We all have to lessen ourselves. We all have to be strong in our own way. It's like what my other sisters say. We're special in our own way. And she's right about that. But guys, my friends, and all my family members out there who are still around, don't squander yourself over something so small. Focus on what you have to do in life. We're no longer kids anymore. We're adults. And this is another thing. There are times we're going to be going through some chaotic things. There are times we're going to be arguing. There are times when our ties are going to be cut. And there's also going to be those times when we're not going to see each other. And there are also some times that we're going to go our own separate ways. See, the thing is, like I said, dating is not dead. Relationships of finding the right person is not dead. That small, it's a small speck of spark. It's a small little spark, soon to brighten out into a gigantic orb, or like the sun. But to be honest with you, I still have willpower. I have faith, and I have hope. We all have hopes. We all have faiths. We all have dreams. We all have the willpower to overcome it. We have the power to overcome our living nightmares. We often have to embrace it. We're no longer kids anymore. We can no longer hide behind our parents. We have to be stronger than this. We're not we're not going to be hiding behind our parents. We're no longer going to hide behind our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, or any other of our people. So, if there are spiritual family members out there that we are care for in Christianity, then yes, we're not going to hide behind them, but we are going to stand by them. The ones that we trust, the ones that we care. Because if there's a certain a friend out there who considers you family and you've been around that person all your life and you have never did anything wrong to that person, that's the kind of person that guys like us need. And to all my friends out here, if there is somebody in your family that you love the most, don't hide behind them. Just stand by them. Let them know what you feel. Don't just don't bottle up your emotions to the point where it's going to be too late, because one day you're going to learn the valuable lesson that you're never going to tell that person on how you felt and how you were living. Take it from me. I tried to tell my mom how I felt, and yes, she still cares. I told my father how I felt, and he cares. I told my uncles, my aunts, heck, even my grandmother. They all cared. My sisters too. They still care. Even when sometimes when I don't tell them certain things, what's going on with me, yes, there is going to be a time that they are upset with me because of what I was going through. But like I said, we all have losses. We all have gains. But losing family and losing the people that we know as our friends, it's the hardest loss you can never gain back. I'm sorry for being too emotional, but it's just that we all got to learn to love ourselves before we learn to love the significant other. We just got to learn to focus on ourselves before we jump into any relationships. If you're traumatized, just try to reach out to people who you love. Reach out to people who care about you. Don't just sit there, don't do anything. See, I'll admit, my one regret is that when my grandfather was around, I couldn't tell him straight to his face to let him know that I was going through a lot. But I was glad that I told the feeling came on the moment I felt it. I told him. My actions spoke out, and look what happened. He understood before he passed. I'm not trying to bring that up, but the thing is, you just gotta understand, guys. I did say it once, and I'll say it again. Losing family is the worstest loss you can never, ever gain back. And it's the truth. So, like I said, guys, this is what this is me saying. Take good care of yourselves. You got people who do care about you. Friend, family, coworker, anyone who actually cares about you. Please learn to focus on yourselves before you jump into relationships. It's not too late to change for the better. I know, and I'm telling you guys how I feel, and it's exactly it. I hope you guys can see that.